Hello guys, today we're talking about Pikmin 3. Pikmin 3 is being remade for the Switch, called Pikmin 3 Deluxe, and is Nintendo making Pikmin into a bigger franchise. I think Pikmin had it's one of those franchises that had the sword's end of the stick in terms of Nintendo franchises. The only way to play Pikmin is on the GameCube and the Wii, and those consoles didn't really do well. Even then, Pikmin 3 still sold 1 million copies on the Wii U, like 1.2 million copies. It's pretty impressive for a console that only sold 12 million. And of course, the GameCube Pikmin, the first one sold 2 million and the second one sold like 1.5 million. Very close sales, but Pikmin 1 did have a few more years to sell. And again, there were the Wii versions of Pikmin, but Nintendo didn't really promote Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 1 for the Wii that much at all. But yeah, Pikmin 3 is a game. It's heading to the Switch and later this year. I think this is a good thing for the franchise. Of course, a lot of people are like disappointed that Pikmin 3 is coming to the Switch. That, oh, it could have been something bigger. Another port. But yeah, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, I think, will probably be the sign that Pikmin finally needs to become a bigger franchise. Nintendo has a lot of major franchises. They have Mario, they have Zelda, they have Pokemon, they have Animal Crossing, and Splatoon. And that's Nintendo's like big 5 series. Okay, Metroid is not one of them. And we got the best selling Nintendo franchises. Yeah, but the most consistent franchises, you know, and of course we have middle tier franchises like Xenoblade and Fire Emblem. I think Pikmin would be a good middle-tier franchise in terms of Xenoblade and Fire Emblem. Both Fire Emblem and Xenoblade were not very popular until very recently. Fire Emblem's breakout was Fire Emblem Awakening, which became a big success on the 3DS, and then Fire Emblem Fates did pretty well. And then Fire Emblem Three Houses also sold 2 million copies. I think 2 million copies is probably for Fire Emblem, and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 also sold around 2 million. And Xenoblade Chronicles finally had the chance to sell well and actually get in the hands of normal people. So yeah, I think that Xenoblade also was a franchise that got short of the second until Xenoblade 2. I think that it was smart on Nintendo's choice to release Xenoblade 1 on the Switch, because I've been saying for a long time Nintendo should release Xenoblade 1 on the Switch so people who played Xenoblade 2 and love Xenoblade 2 can finally play Xenoblade 1 without paying $100 for the Wii version or the 3DS versions. And I think Pikmin 3 is another opportunity. Pikmin 3 is very expensive on the Wii U. I played the game because I actually owned a Wii U, but I know a lot of you guys never owned a Wii U or don't know what a Wii U is. It was a console Nintendo released, and it was Nintendo's biggest failure since the Virtual Boy. But I think Pikmin finally can have a chance to at least be a mid-tier franchise. We don't know. We will wait until, you know. Oh yeah, I forgot Smash Bros. Is also one of Nintendo's biggest franchises. So that's 6 big franchises: Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Smash Bros., and of course, Splatoon. And yeah, Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Animal Crossing, Smash Bros., and Splatoon are Nintendo's biggest franchises, Nintendo's biggest IPs that they own. And yeah, Pikmin could be a good middle franchise, because Nintendo only has 2 middle franchises, and they're both RPG games, Fire Emblem, and, you know, and no doubt ongoing, now getting new games in Xenoblade, because this is going to be a Xenoblade 3. That's what Nintendo's going to do. You know, Monolith Soft's going to make a Xenoblade 3. I think Pikmin 3 will be a good mid-tier franchise alongside Fire Emblem. And maybe we could see more Pikmin in Smash Bros. As Pikmin becomes a bigger franchise. And I think Pikmin could become a big mid-tier franchise if it wasn't for Nintendo just only putting it on horrible consoles. I think there are other franchises that have potential to become a mid-tier franchise, such as Metroid and Star Fox, but again, Metroid just never gets any games anymore. The last big Metroid game was Other M, and that disappointed everybody. And Metroid Prime 4 is in development hell, and Star Fox Zero bombed on the Wii U because of its awful controls. I think the reason, if Star Fox wants to break out, they need to get out of the Star Fox. They need to try to stay away from the Star Fox 64 fanboys and keep those people out of Star Fox and keep those people away, just like the Smash Bros. Fan base did with Melee. Because yes, because it doesn't really matter, because they'll complain anyways with Star Fox. They will complain anyways no matter what Star Fox game they made, because it isn't a remake of 64. And I think Nintendo really needs to do that with Star Fox. Use your creative juices to make a new Star Fox game. Yes, it'll piss off the 64 elitists, but again, most of the other fans who want to try this Star Fox franchise, who want to know who Fox is, are going to be happy as well. Okay, instead of remaking Star Fox 64 over and over and over again and telling the same story over and over and over again. People get sick of that. Okay, people get sick of that. Okay, people Star Fox, they should make it like not like Star Fox Adventures. That's too far, but make it like Star Fox Assault Worlds, a mixer of airing battles, and of course, but make it a new spin on Star Fox. Make it like a new spin, like a new make like Star Fox 2. It could be like a sequel to Star Fox 64, but we don't need another remake of Star Fox 64. Yeah, Star Fox and Metroid are two franchises that are being held back by Nintendo's, scheduling. More worried about Mario Sports Ultra Mix than, Mario Sports games that, it's still selling millions, but again, Nintendo could have more variety in the franchises instead of having 5 Mario games a year, basically. And actually, this year we only had like 1 Mario game this year, and that's Paper Mario not Color Splash. Paper Mario the Origami King. That's like the only Mario game this year. Other than that, we had Animal Crossing and Xenoblade. We all know Animal Crossing is one of Nintendo's biggest franchises after Animal Crossing New Horizons success. So, obviously, we have the big franchises, and I think Pikmin could easily become a mid-tier franchise. And of course, you're like, oh, why is Nintendo banking on Pikmin? I think Nintendo sees the potential in the Pikmin franchise and is willing to give Pikmin 3 another chance to have, and then the Pikmin franchise another chance. And maybe we might see Pikmin 1 and 2 on Nintendo Switch Online as well. I'm still disappointed that it's not the Pikmin trilogy in one copy, but it's still that means Pikmin could be a big franchise. And I'm happy that Pikmin finally, one of the most underrated Nintendo franchises of all time, finally gets to be in the spotlight, and it isn't some crap like Hey Pikmin that nobody wanted. And also, I'm not talking about and of course you're like, oh, but why are you talking about Mario games? Well, Mario, and I'm also including the sub-Mario franchises, like Donkey Kong Country, which is a sub-Mario franchise. Even though Mario isn't in it, Donkey Kong is still a Mario character. Same thing with the Wario series and the Yoshi's Island games and Luigi's Mansion series are still all considered sub-franchises of the larger Mario universe. Because all the Donkey Kong Country characters are still a part of the Mario universe. Because Donkey Kong is a Mario character. That's why I'm not including Donkey Kong Country and, stuff like that. So that's basically it. Goodbye.